When you're browsing through the Nintendo eShop, there's usually a lot of indie games, and many of them look very generic and you just gloss right over them. And Aidan In Danger is most likely one of those games that you're going to look at and just think it's a generic platformer. And while it does stick pretty closely in style to many of the platformers that have come before it, it also succeeds in actually being a fun one that's worth your time. Previously released on PC and has now been ported over to consoles. And this is the Nintendo Switch version that I'm playing here, but it's also available on the other consoles as well. And in this game, you'll play as Aidan. Each level has a beginning and an end. There's coins to collect, which will grant you 1-ups like Mario. And there's also 3 diamonds that you can collect, which are kind of like the optional collectibles for each level. And I don't necessarily know if they actually do anything, but I did collect them all, and there are 30 levels in the game. And after I beat the game, I did have a extra bonus level. So maybe you only unlock that when you collect all of them. Aidan In Danger features a really simple story that's all told in the beginning. Basically save the world from an interdimensional being. And over the course of Aidan's journey, you will play through a bunch of different levels that always tend to mix up their variety and keep it interesting. Some will be auto-scroller levels, others will be inspired clearly by a type of platformer that has come before it. There's one that reminded me very much of Mega Man, another area that reminded very much of the older Super Mario Bros. Titles, and things like that. And I'm sure there's other inspirations that maybe I overlooked, but for the most part, it sticks to those gameplay mechanics from lots of different games that came before it. It plays it mostly safe, and it doesn't do anything that makes this really stand out from other platformers, but it does a great job of being an enjoyable game. And one, for me, that played pretty flawlessly on the Switch. I didn't really run into too many issues. There were a few times where I would be fighting a boss where their hitboxes felt a little bit too big and that they ended up killing me when they shouldn't have. And then also I ran into a weird bug on the final boss, actually, where I had died a few times in a row because it was pretty difficult. And after the boss killed me, it rolled the ending. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but I guess technically I beat the game by losing the fight. I don't really know what that was about. In the beginning, though, of Aidan In Danger, you'll start out just moving and jumping. You also have a slingshot attack, but shortly after that, they'll introduce you to a dodge roll, and then eventually an air dash. And the levels do a great job of incorporating these new abilities as you earn them into the platforming and keep it feeling interesting. This isn't one that's a must-play game by any means, but if you enjoy 2D platformers, you can definitely do much worse. I had a lot of fun with this one across its 30 levels, and you could beat it in a few hours. You might get a little bit more time out of it if you seek to acquire all of the diamonds, which each level has 3 of, but usually they're on the beaten path. There's not too many instances where they're hidden really well and they're difficult to find. I really liked the Game Boy Color style pixel art. The music was pretty decent. Wasn't anything that I'm going to listen to in my free time, but for the majority of the game, it was catchy. The game controls really nicely. It feels a little bit slower in movement speed compared to other games. You don't gain speed as you move like a Mario game or anything like that. So using your roll and your air dash will be your main source of speed in this game. They mix it up quite a bit with the enemy variety, the different traps on all the levels, and the bosses. So overall, if you like 2D pixel platformers, you could do worse. And I enjoyed Aidan In Danger, so I had fun with this one. Check it out if it looked interesting to you, or if you're a really big fan of these types of games. Especially on Nintendo Switch, this might be a good one to take on a trip with you, play a few levels, and then maybe turn it off, because it's one of those games that's super easy to just pick up and play. Saves between levels. There's a level select if you want to return to any. It's really pick up and play friendly, so I enjoyed it for that. I hope you enjoyed this quick review of Aidan In Danger. If you did, give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll be sure to get back to you. But until next time, have a good one.